This is Peter Hall, Democratic candidate for governor of the state of Oregon. I just wanted to start out my collection of YouTube videos with a statement about why I wound up being a Democrat. Now, I used to be a Republican many years ago, but that changed. When I was at a convention in King County, Washington, as a Republican delegate, there was a thing on the floor where they're going through the platform, and one of the articles was that Republicans would only support candidates of high moral ethical principle. Well, I got up to speak against it, not because I was against the idea of high moral ethical principles in a politician, but I just wanted to bring some reality to them about what that meant. And so I said that somebody with high moral ethical principles may not do what you want because of those high moral ethical principles. While somebody who's a liar and a cheater, well, he's going to get done what you want because he doesn't care about moral and ethical principles. So, which candidate are you going to support? Well, I kind of figured most people would just kind of want to sweep the whole thing under the rug, maybe say, let's just table it, just move on, maybe a few weak yays and nays. Well, they went through and had a vote, and as I expected, they said called for the yays, and there were a few weak yays, and then they called for the noes. And there was the loudest roar of noes I have ever heard at any kind of political event. And at that moment, I stopped being a Republican because they made it quite clear that they do not care about moral and ethical principles. They only care about maintaining their privileged place in American society, that they're right. All their beliefs are correct. Everything that we've had in our history are right. That is, all of the claims that they are prejudiced against women, against ethnic minorities, against religious minorities, is wrong, is false. We're the good guys. There's nothing wrong with us. And so Ronald Reagan fed into that. Ronald Reagan said, "No, you're the good guys. Don't listen to those liberals. You're the good guys." And he kind of reinforced the fact that they don't have to look at history. They don't have to look at what Europeans, Americans did in America. That European Americans are the foreigners. They're the invaders. They're the ones who don't belong here. They brought in Africans and enslaved them, and it wasn't better for them here. They would much rather be back in Africa. And the indigenous people that were here, we committed a de facto genocide against them. And they don't want to hear that. They want to hear that they made their lives better. They don't want to hear that European Christians are the bad guys. They don't want to hear that that's how they were. Yes, they have gotten better, but still, we need to look at the past, and they don't want to see that. So when you look and you think of Donald Trump, how did he come about? Well, they didn't vote for him despite his lack of moral and ethical principles. They voted for him because of his lack of moral and ethical principles. They wanted somebody who is saying, you don't have to look at any of that. You're perfect. You're fine. And I'm going to get done everything you want. I will protect your place of privilege no matter what it takes. Down to the line. I will basically defend you. And so you look at something like January 6th, and to them, this was something that they had to do. We are here to protect our place in society because the last thing in the world we want to do is look at our history, look at our beliefs, and think maybe I'm wrong about something. So to them, January 6th was kind of like Hiroshima in World War II. It was a horrific event that they recognized, but something that we have to do because we have to win, because we cannot look at our past. We cannot admit the fact that we are wrong about something. There's a local lady who flies a Confederate flag saying it's the symbol of freedom, which of course it's not. I told her, no, it's completely contrary to your libertarian values. But she cannot admit the fact that her ancestors were wrong about something, that all the things that she was told were wrong, that she has to look at that and challenge all the things that all these so-called her social connections told her were the correct things. Well, now she doesn't want to do that. And a lot of people don't want to look at that. They do not want to correct the past. They don't want to look at all the horrible things they've done. That's why the critical race theory thing, why they're just up in arms about it. I don't want to look at my past because it means that maybe some of my beliefs are wrong. They don't like a challenge to their beliefs. That's why they fight against everything. They cannot be wrong about anything because if they're wrong about one thing, what else are they wrong about? And that really becomes an existential crisis to them. They have to examine their lives because they want to be good people. And they want to be good people without actually having to do necessarily anything good. They just, by being European and Christian, I'm better than everybody else. And they want to believe that because that's a place of privilege. But then they get the equality. Now maybe I'm not only am I not better, am I worse? They don't want to basically do that examination. And a lot of people, it's very hard for people to do. And we have to understand that, and we have to reach out to people and try to bring them in and say, you can still be a good person. We're not saying you're wrong, you're bad about everything, you're wrong about everything, but you need to examine those things, those beliefs that are wrong. And you need to change your life because you do want to be a good person. You do want to be a smart person. Well, so do we. We want that for you. We do want that for you. And we understand the conflict that it creates. And we want to help you through it. So, as a Democratic governor, I want to help that transition in the same way that you would help an alcoholic or a drug addict to break out. And we need to do that with those people, those conservatives who again are addicted to that I'm not wrong about anything kind of mentality. And it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. But it's something that I want to do, and it's something that we need to do as Democrats.